Welcome and thanks for joining us. My guest today is Tom Hance, Director of Container Security at Rancher Government Solutions. Tom, good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
And let's get right into it. Containers, Kubernetes, are these becoming more popular in the public sector? And if so, why?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, they absolutely are. Actually, use of containers and specifically Kubernetes is kind of exploding in the marketplace as it's recognized as just a much more effective method for DevOps teams to produce applications. They're more agile. They can deliver on time and with a higher quality product using microservice-based containers than they could in, let's say, a hardware or VM environment of the past.
All right, so there's a lot mitigating in favor of them, but then the issue of containers and Kubernetes security presents a fresh challenge for agencies, correct?
Yes, it does. One of the things you lose when you move to microservices or Kubernetes is the visibility and control of network layers. Essentially, any visibility or capability to secure the network is obfuscated or hidden to give you the benefit of not having to pay attention to it, to be able to focus on producing better applications. And that is kind of the bane of SecOps teams that are in charge of securing DevOps teams' work within Kubernetes and containers.
So if you have these types of applications deployed, and this is a very mobile type of or agile type of work, I mean, these containers move around and they get redeployed and remixed through APIs, if I'm correct about all of this. What are the security challenges, and is container security something really operating for the government at this point, do you think?
Over the last few years, I've seen DevOps teams move to containers, and they're seeing the benefits of the agility and kind of the ephemeral nature of containers and the management that Kubernetes adds in to scale and delivery. But the big issue is that loss of network visibility means that they really have no idea what application protocols, what packet content is flowing across their cluster. And if you have security in your title, that is a big issue. You can't send data across a network of any type and know the content and consider yourself secure.
Yeah. So, well, let me ask you this. When developing applications and then containerizing it, is there something that you do at that stage so that the containers are inherently secure, or is it necessary to be able to somehow scan the internals of containers as they go by?
Yeah, you really need real-time protection. And there's a difference between security and layers of security, kind of the old defense in depth approach, and actual protection. One is kind of the ecosystem where you're doing build scanning and image scanning and runtime scanning. All those are great preparation for production, but they don't actually have the ability to protect your containers because they don't sit in line with live traffic in between container pairs and govern what is allowed to cross that demarcation point from a zero trust perspective. That's what NeuVector by Rancher Government Solutions does.
Yeah, tell us more about what NeuVector is and how it operates.
Sure. Well, at a high level, to describe NeuVector, we're a container behavioral zero trust enforcement platform. That means that we not only hold the position between each container pair, but we have the visibility into the application and packet levels to make accurate decisions on what gets to pass that demarcation point in live traffic. We're not dependent on an image or something out of band, or a scan that was done a couple of days ago. This is a live defensive platform, and that's really our differentiation. We can stop malicious code execution in line before it can damage a container, a pod, an application, or the system kernel. And that's unique in the industry.
What is the mechanism by which, say, a hacker or some malicious software code that has been placed in a network somehow, could be by phishing, I suppose, or by any means, how does it get to the containers and possibly contaminate them, or somehow come between the API between two containers and therefore disrupt a process or cause some problem?
Yeah, that's a very well put question. I would say, it can come in via multiple vectors, hence the name New Vector, by the way. Simply, you have developers bringing in images, downloading images to work with. They can be contaminated. You have social networking mechanisms that'll get malicious content pulled into a DevOps environment. So it's always important to, scan those and see if you can locate them. But I want to draw a clean line of delineation between, scanning and actual protection. Scanning is kind of the placebo for security in the container world. And it's something that the agencies really need to look at. Some agencies are starting to recognize that, hey, we scanned for signatures 20 years ago. And we patched them, and it really didn't work. And it doesn't work in the containerized world. You need real-time gated segmentation between container pairs, and scanners, especially layer 3 scanners that have been offered and have been kind of the standard for DevOps communities over the last 5 years, are just no longer effective at stopping new dangerous content from our very capable adversaries.
So it sounds as if scanning is almost looking at the problem, whereas real protection is preventing a problem before it executes.
Yes, you buy a scanner to scan your infrastructure, and for something that's likely already bypassed your perimeter security. And as a security professional, that I have a difficulty with that model. I want to prevent things from happening, not just detect them and patch them if a patch is available. So you need really to look for and apply new technology that can stop an attack attempt on a CVE, as an example, whether it's patched or not. Stop something that's never been seen before, a 0-day by very description. And this is only capable if you understand the actual packet content and application layer content running across your cluster.
And does New Vector have any effect on the performance of an application? Because it sounds like it gets pretty deep in there in between each container pair.
Yeah, no, actually, we run wire speed and are extremely fast in performance simply because we are architected as a container ourselves. There is nothing more Kubernetes native than New Vector. Simply you deploy us using a Helm chart or a YAML file modification in 15 minutes and deploy us as a container using kubectl as you would as any Kubernetes manager or administrator.
And where does it live? Is it a cloud-based application? Is it something that how does it work?
No, this is an air-gapped platform. It is a hybrid platform. It means that there's no phone home, there's no connection to the cloud, reliance on the cloud or an internet connection ever. It is under the agency's complete control. And it is a hybrid platform in that it will protect raw Kubernetes. It will protect Rancher, of course, OpenShift, Tanzu. We don't really care what orchestrator you're using. We're here to make sure that you cannot be attacked. And the same thing with the other end of the spectrum. We'll integrate with any CI/CD tool and with any cloud format. We don't care whether you're running AKS or EKS or IKS. We support those as well. But we're always deployed in an air-gap fashion, and that's important to a lot of the agencies.
Yeah, that was my question because agencies had, large organizations may have instances of applications containerized running more than one time in various clouds. You might have several instances operating depending on your capacity needs or your your uh, your need to avoid delay for geographical purposes, whatever the case might be. And this can keep up with all of that cloud activity as well as what might be happening in your own data center.
Absolutely. And, of course, via both New Vector, we offer, multi-cluster security. And via Rancher Government Solutions, we offer DISA-STIG approved cluster securities. So we have that covered in a multi-cluster hybrid environment.
So this will run well in higher level security types of environments, such as you might encounter in at least some parts of DoD.
Oh, absolutely. New Vector built and patented deep packet inspection, or DPI, for containers. And that means that we can not only see the application protocol and the packet content in the header, but we can also see payload. And so we're able to allow our customers to model security around that payload delivery, the actual content. So it's contextual security for containers not available to products that run at layer 3 or that are just a scanner. We also incorporate all the scanning functions that you might need, so you don't have to kind of design out of the box. You can protect your builds from inception all the way through to production with the New Vector platform.
All right, so some great developments, some great insights you've given us. We're going to take a short break on that note. My guest today is Tom Hance. He's Director of Container Security at Rancher Government Solutions. I'm Tom Temin. You're listening to Federal Insights, Securing Containerized Applications, sponsored by Rancher Government Solutions here on Federal News Network.